Hello, my name is Dale Duncan. I'm currently enrolled with Savvy Coders for data analytics, and I'm looking for a career in the IT industry. My previous job was crime scene cleanup and customer service. I wanted to transition to the IT industry because I am looking for a career field that offers long-term health and a healthy future, an environment that will challenge me and push me to be the best version of myself. I am motivated to succeed and transition into my new career in data analytics. I want to be in a professional field with hardworking individuals to achieve the best results possible. With Savvy Coders, you're in the cohort. I have learned how to use Python, Excel, SQL, and Tableau to organize and clean data and present. I am interested in data, as it can always tell a story and can be very useful for business and trying to solve a problem with data. The possibilities are basically unlimited. My capstone project is does music affect someone's mental health? I want to be able to explain in my capstone if a certain type of music can affect someone's general mood and what type of music shows the highest results for higher symptoms of depression, anxiety, insomnia, and OCD. I'm going to explain why certain genres of music can negatively impact overall mental health, negatively by the age groups I have in my data set. So in Savvy Coders, we use the Agile process. Agile is an interactive and incremental approach to project management that emphasizes collaboration, flexibility, and continuous improvement. It is often used in software development, but can be applied to any type of project. The Agile process is based on four principles: individual interactions over processes and tools, working software over comprehensive documentation, customer collaboration over contract negotiation, responding to change over following a plan. In Savvy Coders, we use sprints. We acted as the scrum master and project lead. The agile process is typically divided into short cycles called sprints. Sprints should typically last 1 to 2 weeks, and they involve the following steps: planning, execution, review, and retrospective. The team repeats these steps for each sprint until a project is complete. The agile process offers a number of benefits, including increased flexibility, adaptability, improved quality, increased customer satisfaction, and improved team morale. So for the title of my capstone, I named it "The Dark Side of Music: How Certain Genres Can Negatively Impact Our Mental Health." The question is, can music affect someone's mental health depending on what genre they listen to? For sources, we have Kaggle. We use a data set from Catherine, and MXMH survey results is what the table was called. In Python, we use pandas and matplotlib. I dropped a column to in Python, BPM, because it was beats per minute, and I couldn't factor that into this data set and make it make sense. So I decided just to drop it. I also messed around with some charts. So as you can see there, I created a pie chart. I put the labels, which were the streaming services: Spotify, YouTube Music, Apple Music, Pandora, and other. I put the sizes. I exploded it to make it expand. Got subplots, and I put the sizes, and then kind of just messed around with the coloring and all that to make it look better. And then I calculated descriptive statistics, and then visualizing descriptive statistics and showing typical time listened to music each day. So as you can see, I have the mean, the minimum, the 25 percentile, the 50 percentile, the 75 percentile, and the max. And this was the columns of age and hours per day. And then I also graphed it afterwards just to make it make more sense, and then kind of getting more inspiration when I got to the Tableau part. And then same thing right here. Hours listened to each streaming service. I made it a bar graph, put the labels, and then rotated it so that way the names weren't overlapping, so it was easier to read. And then Spotify by far had the most hours listened to. And then we also use pandas, and then this was visualizing primary music streaming service, showing which is the most popular. And as you can see, Spotify took the cake. It was by far the most used streaming service in my capstone. So for sequel, we found the averages of what ages have the highest symptoms per genre. This is kind of actually the answer to my capstone, but I decided I wanted to graph it out anyway. But I did do this in SQL just to help me visualize how I was going to graph everything. So I have the favorite genre, anxiety, the OCD, insomnia, and depression, which were the four categories and the data set I used. And then I ordered it by descending. And then, as you can see, rock had the most symptoms, but I will explain that more in graphs later. We also changed the 1 through 10 values and categorized them. In my chart, originally, the insomnia, OCD, anxiety, and depression were rated on a scale of 1 to 10. So I categorized it to lesser than 3, in between that and 7, and then in between that and 10. And I use a classification mild, moderate, and major. I just felt like it'd be better to present it that way. It would look a lot more clean. And then we deleted all the nulls from every single column. I also had to rename all the tables because they had parentheses in them, and SQL does not allow for that in a chart. If you like want to actually like do something with it or modify it, so I deleted and took everything off of there. All right, so we had the hours per day and the age. As you can see, the ages 30 through 39 had the most hours per day listened to combined. And then 18 through 29 dipped. 40 through 49, same thing. Ages 50 and 65 had 135 and 68. So the majority of my data set had between these ages. That's why these look kind of small. Then we have the primary streaming services and ages. As you can see, Spotify by far takes the most has the most people listening to that as a streaming service or preferred streaming service. As you can see, ages 18 through 29, um, ages 10 through 17, 40 through 49, all have a bigger usage of Spotify than any other category. And with the only exception being ages 50 plus, but like I said, there wasn't a whole bunch of data or a whole bunch of data in the set with 50 plus, so that could just not be accurate. I apologize. My So for showcasing grouping and banking steps in my Tableau visualization, this is all the work I had to put into it. When I get to my frustrations, I am going to explain it better. But during my presentation or during my graphing, I realized that I can't put two of the categories, whether it be anxiety, depression, insomnia, or OCD. I realized I can't put them both in one chart because it would not work. It just would not sync up like that. So I had to individually create a chart for each genre by each score of mental health problems. So as you can see, I'm not going to be showcasing this as much because I have interactive graphs, but this is just showing the work that I had to do before I got to the interactive graph part. As you can see, these are all the genres I have listed here. And then we still have all the genres here on this page. And this is the final page. After this, we had to filter the visualization showcase. So as you see here in the corner, I have my scores. So we have anxiety, depression, OCD, insomnia. And if you flip through these, you can see that everything that has EDM, I can switch through the mild, moderate, and major. Same thing with depression and anxiety and EDM. And since I couldn't have two categories in the same graph without messing up the values, I did have to create a complete separate graphs for everything as well. So in total, I think I had about over 100 graphs I had to create. So this is kind of the same thing as a showcasing of the beginning steps in my Tableau visualization. I'm kind of going to skim past this a bit just to show my work. All right, so here's the other page. Yeah, as you can see, it's just the same thing as the first page, but it's just showing basically all the graphs I had to make before I can actually summarize it up. So that way it makes sense. And then my results for anxiety was ages 18 through 29. They had the most anxiety with rock. Same thing with ages 40 through 49. We also had the same thing with ages 10 through 17 as well. So rock was by far showing the most anxiety with the person with by each age group. Besides 50 plus, we only had three counts. And then for depression, for this is major depression. Same thing. We have rock being the highest through 18 through 29, ages 40 through 49, and then ages 10 through 17. And then we don't have a bunch of data for 50 plus, but I filtered by mild. It does show rock being the highest depression genre that they have. So I'm count that kind of as major, so that's the only data they have. And the results for OCD, same thing. We have rock for ages 18 through 29. Rock being the highest for OCD for ages 40 through 49. And then also rock being the highest for ages 10 through 17. And this is all for the people who did listen to this genre of music. And then we go by moderate. As you can see, Pops surprisingly has the highest of 18 through 29. Same thing with rock, has a count of 30, still very high, pretty close to Pop. And then 10 through 17, same thing. You have rock being the highest, and then rock being the highest for 40 through 49, and ages 50 plus. Then the results for insomnia, for ages 10 through 17 for major, rock, metal, and classical was actually somehow it was the same for major insomnia symptoms. And then for ages 18 through 29, rock and metal were actually tied for major insomnia. For ages 40 through 49, metal and rock were the highest two as well for insomnia. And then ages 50 plus, as you can see, rock was also the highest and the moderate, which I'm using that as the majors because that's where the most results were in for the ages 50 plus. All right, frustrations. The numbers I had to change from 1 through 10 and had to categorize to mild, moderate, and major. It ended up creating an issue to where when I converted to a measure, it would not let me put both genre categories or depression, or sorry, both depression and insomnia categories, anxiety and OCD. It would not let me put them in the same graph. So because of me changing the values to mild, moderate, and major, I was not allowed to. I had to basically make a bunch of graphs and make a bunch of dashboards to make it make sense. But also at the same time, even though it was a frustration, this made me learn Tableau to a way greater extent than I would have learned if I did not change the values. So, in retrospect, it was actually a net positive. Also, I learned that I can't put multiple dashboards into a story point. So what I did originally was I created 41 story points, each having the different genre and anxiety, just like I did with my sheets. And then I realized that you couldn't do that. So what I had to do was create another dashboard and basically throw all the dashboards or graphs into a few dashboards to summarize it, just so that way I wasn't explaining the charts for like an hour and made it make more sense, not be confusing. But that's all I have for frustration. For conclusions, rock showed the most symptoms of major depression, OCD, and anxiety. Insomnia, oddly, was pretty similar on the major scale ratings. When filtering to moderate, rock still had the most symptoms listed out any other genre for all ages. Thank you for taking time to listen to me and showcasing my project. I put a lot of effort into hard work into it, and I can't wait to start my career in data analytics. I hope you guys have a great day, and thank you for watching my presentation. Goodbye.